Yeah, so make sure you put that bit in for Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes as well. All right? Yeah, record it. All right, sorry, I've got to start. Good morning, everybody. Especially if you're Newcastle fans. Warming up to absolutely take the piss out of them for about an hour. Oh. Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Sam United People's TV, and I think we're going to have probably one of the most fun shows that we're ever going to have in the morning, because it is a goody good morning, all right? I'm going to run through all the news. David Ornstein confirmed it, that Manchester United are close to agreeing a deal that Sesko has chosen, Man United. Fabrizio Romano's confirming that we've agreed personal terms. It's been a pretty mad 24 hours. It's been a pretty mad 5, 6, 7 days after we found out that United had chosen him as our main target, and he has chosen Man United. Everyone get involved. This chat is absolutely firing today. It's going to be a mad one, all right? Seriously, we should put a bid in for the Sandro Tonali, though. I'm going to try and say hello to everyone. It's going to be crazy in here today, but just enjoy it. Craig, good morning to you. Thank you for gifting some memberships. And Gungshi, I can see you there as well, gifting. Everyone, can you go and gift Newcastle something? I don't know, like a half-eaten chocolate bar. Newcastle fans, they're nothing. They're starving. Oh, don't worry, they signed Darren Ramsdale. I can't even say hello to everyone. It's just going to be a fun one. Magmamo, good morning to you. We've got Josh, you're there. As always, Alex, Carl, you're there too. We've got Scott, we've got Rofi, we've got lots of non-members as well. Make sure you get involved. Sesko has chosen Man United, and we'll speak about it in a sec. There's one thing I really do want to say before, just to take it into a more serious note. And then we dive into the Sesko story. Planet Earth saying, good morning, Sam. Just want to say you're amazing. Thank you very much. Do keep up the great work. Thank you to everyone here for being part of this community. But I want to say this, right? The 1958 yesterday released a press release about a protest that's going to be happening ahead of the Arsenal game. And I've worked with the 1958, and I think a lot of what the 1958 have done has been fantastic. They've mobilised Manchester United fans into regular protests in ways that other fan groups haven't been able to do before. But doing this protest for the Arsenal game, calling Ratcliffe a devil in disguise, trying to lump him in the same category as the Glazers, is so unbelievably wrong. He is not... I get pissed off at anybody who tries to put Ratcliffe in the exact same category as the Glazers. It's just outright wrong. He has put money of his own into the football club. We're about to open a new Carrington. Did he make a lot of mistakes in that first year? Did any of us make a lot of mistakes? They did. Absolutely. But to try and just lump it in the same... And Jim can't fix this. Oh, yeah, good one, lads. Let's just use the slogan of a paedophile. Great. Probably shouldn't have said that word. Whoops. I don't know how YouTube works. Jason saying, tell us who's next. Sam, goalkeeper or mid? I'd absolutely love Tonali. Adam saying hello from Thailand. Mavimo saying watching from Perth. Good morning to everyone. Anyway, let's get into it, peeps. All right. It's going to be a cracking show here today. I don't think... Personally, by the way, I don't actually think we'll get a Here We Go during the show. I think United are sort of still negotiating the final fee, right? But let me run you through the story. David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano confirming it this morning, all right? David Ornstein this morning saying this. Manchester United are closing in on a deal to sign Sesko from Leipzig. This here must just make Newcastle fans genuinely cry. Leipzig accepted an €82.5 million plus 2.5 mil bid from Newcastle. So 85 million euros in total. I thought it was 90. Anyway, 85 million from Newcastle, but the 22-year-old striker wants Manchester United. Literally, Leipzig accepted the bid from Newcastle. They accepted the bid. They still didn't. Man, this is more than humble pie for Newcastle fans this summer. I tell you that. This obsession with Newcastle is worrying. Obsession? Dude, you need to calm down. Obsession is just objectively hilarious. And take a step back. It's just funny. It's just downright funny. It really, really is. And let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I'll head down here and see what else anyone else is saying in the chat. Dean, thank you for gifting 5 memberships and Anuj to you as well. Alex is saying, taking the son and wife to Old Trafford for the first time on Saturday. Hope the deal is done in time. That should be an awesome game. I was hoping to go to that. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to now. Say it, Sam. Hated a dog, never ignored. I don't need to tell you about the United, Paul. You're seeing it in real. You're just seeing it happen here. Samir is saying, I think that this summer United prioritised a striker because of the market opportunities. All of them in their own sense. Gyökeres, Sesko, Isak, Ikatike. Would be nice to see a central midfielder. Well, honestly, ladies and gents, I don't know what the United have done here. I really don't know what the United have done. And I'm not saying that to hype everyone up and think that we're going to be signing a wonderful midfielder. But it really does feel that United aren't done. And they've kind of already exceeded what we thought they were doing. Now, let's run through the article. United are closing in on Sesko transfer from Leipzig. United are closing in on a deal to sign Sesko from Leipzig. The Old Trafford side have been battling Newcastle for him. They initially tabled that first bid. We know that. That got rejected. And, of course, United yesterday put in that bid. I covered that news. 75 million plus 10. Newcastle can... This is just hilarious, this bit here. One sec. Let me turn these notifications off. My computer is going nuts. Right. Newcastle continued to work to secure, and on Tuesday, an €85 million bid was accepted. But Sesko wants to join Manchester United, and all parties are now aware of that, as talks advance in an effort to satisfy Leipzig's demands. While there is no club-to-club agreement yet, the situation is moving in that direction, and that's the latest from David Ornstein. Like, I did my video yesterday, and I spoke about how United are kind of sitting there watching Newcastle make their bids, and I go, we're not going to make that bid. We're not going to put the money on the table until we know that he wants to join us. And that's happened. And then on top of that, we got this from Fabrizio Romano saying Benjamin Sesko has reached a total agreement with United on personal terms, a contract until 2030. The personal terms booked, done. It's almost like he was sitting. I think these were probably already agreed before the bid went in, if I'm being completely honest. You know, all the reports that we saw yesterday suggesting that he actually agreed deals with both Newcastle and United, and sort of not like playing them off against each other, but having both of them. The personal terms are already done. The personal terms are already booked in. This is just... I did a video 2 months ago explaining that Manchester United had the ability to spend this summer in ways that we didn't actually realise they could. But even in my sort of optimistic imagination, I didn't think this was possible. Right? I really didn't think this was possible. Right, I'm going to head down here into the chat and see what you're saying. When you're big, you always win. Well, it's not the case, really, because United have spent so much money. We know that. And, yeah, Sesko does come with his risks. And I've already explained that in my video yesterday. We're working hard in the background, by the way. The team is working on the profile for Sesko, where you get to understand a lot more about his game, about his strengths, what he brings. Hey, here we go. He's not there yet, so we haven't signed him. But let's be honest. Someone gifting some more memberships down. They've got Dylan. Thank you very much. Sam, would you take Hackney, Kamara, or Agum? Is it Agum or Agume? Don't quite know. What's saying down there? We royally screwed Newcastle. Have you seen the article post about what we can actually spend? I'm going to be speaking about that a little bit later in the video, Donald. All right. Thought we were broke, says Daniel. I think just what we've learned. Well, what we learned earlier this summer, remember that PSR, they've been using the wrong accounts. Yeah, well done, lads. You think you get that right. But anyway, we'll speak about that a little bit later. Alex, this morning I watched your vid from 3 years ago on Sesko. Geez, you're going to have to go back and look at that. Yeah, because this is a signing which is... It really is years in the making. Really is. Now, he may... Hey, look, if we had signed Delap, would any of these conversations exist? It feels like Delap is the ripple effect of the summer. Had we signed Delap, I don't even know if we had gone for Mbeumo. Or maybe we would have. Maybe that was always going to be next. But after Delap failed, we moved to Mbeumo. And then obviously everything's happened, and now it's Sesko. Someone down there saying we need a Champions League spot. Really? Go and tell Newcastle that. Newcastle abandoning the deal. Copium coming in there. Rack, you're saying with regards to midfield signings, shouldn't the club look for short-term solutions, given that Collier, Kone, Thwaites, Gore, Fletcher could end up being in the first team? Gore's going to be sold this summer. I think Collier will probably be loaned and may well be sold. Jack and Tyler Fletcher, I think, are a couple of years off. Maybe not a couple of years off. Sekou Kone's not played. Jim Thwaites is 16. Don't particularly think any of those options there are going to be options that come into United's... Sekou Kone maybe, but he's obviously kind of been overlooked. Well, not overlooked, but Ruben Amorim doesn't think he's ready. But can we just... who am I kidding? I'm enjoying this, peeps. I don't care. Newcastle fans, come at me. You've got nothing. You've got nothing. You know what I said yesterday? I randomly found it. Look. That's my ticket from the Sports Direct Arena. Sunday, the 7th of October, 2012. United against Newcastle. And that was when Tom Cleverley scored from a cross. Who else scored there? He scored 2 headers. Did Johnny Evans score a header? I think he scored 2 headers. And then, no, is it Patrice Evra? I can't remember. Anyway, I just remember that Cleverley scored. This is just... That's the most appropriate meme. Have you seen this video here? Boy, that's a big bloke down there on the right. Let's cover his face up. Anyway, listen to this.
And the fact that we have the potential to lose this fight has got me seething.
You lost it, mate.
Yeah. They are an absolute joke of a club where players go to die effectively. You've got Sancho with mental health issues, depression, Anthony with the same issues. These are £80 million players that go there to not be progressed as players, and they are trapped because of the high salaries and fees. They can't get out when they realise they've made a mistake. It is a grossly run club. They are £1 billion in debt, but because of their high revenue due to the way the rules are written, they can spend upwards of £200 million across 3 attackers this window, which is an absolute disgrace.
I'm sorry. I was just... Oh, man, we went there. We went there. Like, this is a club, by the way, who... They've won, like, 1 trophy in 40-odd years. You know how, like, some... You know, in football, I hate the word banter, but in, like, you know, the chats that fans have and, like, going back and forth and... you did this and you signed this player, but you're crap, blah, 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 blah. Like, Newcastle, what have you got, man? What have you got? What have you got? Oh, Alan Shearer played for you once. Yeah, top lad. We hear about, like, United fans being delusional and like, even Arsenal fans being like, no one's got anything on Newcastle fans. Like, know your place. This summer has been the humbling of humblings. It really, really has been. Honestly, we should go out and try and sign Sandro Tonali. For real. Why not? Offer him 20 quid. Anyway. Here's just 3 signings that they tried to get. 1 trophy in 70 years. Man, come on, man. I swear Wigan have got more than that. For real. 2 of my best mates are Newcastle fans. Going to enjoy getting in the WhatsApp there today. Look, this is beyond any sort of wild expectation of what this summer could be in terms of signings. And of course, there's more that we need. But just in isolation. I say isolate. You can't bloody isolate that. We're going from a front 3 of, like, Garnacho, Hojlund, and who played on the right hand side last season? I can't even bloody remember. Garnacho played there sometimes. Sancho never played there. Who did play on the right-hand side? Ahmad probably played there quite a lot. But he's more of a wing-back now. Anyway, just the upgrade in there. The upgrade is nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And I really genuinely feel that United are probably not done. is it? What is that? Let me just check. I can see everyone's complaining about how fast the chat is popping through. I think I might be able to turn slow mode on because it's just told me that slow mode's been turned on. But I didn't turn anything on. Let me just try and help down here. Slow mode once every 5 seconds. How did that turn it on itself? That's weird. That's weird. Right, everybody, if you're new in town, make sure you do subscribe to Night People's TV. But yeah, if you have missed the start of the show, I'll give you a quick run through again because the two key bits of information on this. Number one, David Ornstein has confirmed that United are closing in on a deal to sign him. Not only that, but Newcastle had an €85 million bid accepted, but Sesko chose us. And that's probably worthy of a repeat and a conversation. You've got 3 players here, right? 3 players here. Thank you, whichever mod turned that on. It's definitely appropriate. Cunha only wanted United. You're looking at 3 players here who United have gone after. Are these the only players that we've put bids in for this summer? I think they are. I think they are. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might have forgotten someone. But I think they are. Cunha only wanted United. Mbeumo only wanted United. He sat there for 6 weeks in a really long, drawn-out negotiation. But he wanted to sign us. He wanted to join us. And Sesko sat there and Leipzig accepted a higher bid from a different club. And we're signing him. 3 players who want to play for the club, who have actively pushed to play for the club. And I think Sesko even more so, really. He's turning his back on Champions League football. That's what I said yesterday in my video. I said, tell me what Newcastle has to offer that United isn't just bigger or better with. And I know they've got Champions League football, and probably because they missed out on every bloody player that they tried to sign this summer, they could probably offer him more money. But neither of those two things have mattered to Sesko. And this is a player who has been on our radar for, as I said, 3 years. We were looking at bloody Hojlund the minute sign him. We were looking at him when he was a teenager before he went to Salzburg. We were looking at him last summer. Andy Mitten said he was our kind of number 1 target, which didn't have the funds to cope with it. I think he ended up signing a new contract, didn't he, last summer? And now, 3 years on, really, from the original interest, we're bringing him in. What's everyone's feelings towards the summer so far and sort of what's happened? Honestly, I'd be really interested to know what you're all saying. I know there's going to be a lot of buzz and excitement, understandably so, but I'm a bit shook. I mean, in a good way. But I'm a bit shook. I knew what I was hoping for this summer. Let me quickly go back to this, right? Curiosity. I haven't actually looked at this since I did this video. I'm going to go back and look at what I put in as my dream summer for Manchester United. Remember I always do this video at the start of the summer? Let's have a quick look. Let's go back through these. Where was it? A couple of months ago? Dream summer window. It's now open. Right, what did I get to at the end? Right. Well, the sales aren't going to bloody happen, are they? But I had Cunha and Mbeumo as my top 2 dream signings. I had Gyökeres down as number 3, but you can put Sesko there. I had Wharton down as 100. Would I say Wharton again now, or would I say Baleba? I'll probably go Baleba. Anyway, Rashford didn't get any money for him. Garnacho, that's not happening. It's the sales where it's crap. It's the sales where it's crap. But in terms of those signings, 2 of them have got Bob on. Gyökeres, that can be replaced with Sesko. Oh yeah, I'm wearing the same. I'm wearing the same top. Let me see what you're saying down here in the chat. Right. Shocked at pulling ability. Wanted to really get rid of the Deadwood. Yeah. I really wanted to get rid of the Deadwood. King Faya shook ones. Man, might be the best rap beat of all time. Andy's saying it's a continuation of the sea of change we saw last summer. We saw a glimpse of things to come then. I think we did. Yes, Ollie, I see you there. Who's that club they call United? Well, it's not Newcastle. Big up, Ollie. Ollie works with United. He works as part of the team, and he lives up north. So he's always got to deal with the Geordies. So he's just swinging. Did you sign absolutely nobody? Sesko uppercut. Larry's saying 8 out of 10 window. We needed to upgrade the attack badly. Still worried about the midfield. 7 out of 10. 2 out of 10 on the ins. Wonder how much we can spend. Honestly, as much as I do my research, as much as I know as much as I possibly can about this football club, I've got no idea how much we can actually bloody spend. I did a video early this summer saying United can spend bigger this summer, and I explained the PSR differences. But I don't know what the limit is. And I will be speaking about that soon, right? Alex is saying Eddie Howe might walk. Shame. Someone's saying, hope you see Tolisso and a goalkeeper. Tolisso? I'm not really sure I'd go for him as my midfielder, if I'm being completely honest. But look, on top of that, right? So we've got that from David Ornstein. We've got that from Fabrizio Romano. Deal's close. Personal terms are agreed. This is what's being reported from Florian Plettenberg out in Germany. Saying Manchester United have actually improved their offer and are currently proposing around 80 million euros as a fixed fee. So does that mean that we've bumped it up to the same fee that Newcastle were offering? I don't quite know. But they're saying that there's still not an agreement. If we go back to David Ornstein, that's kind of what he suggests as well, right? There's no club-to-club agreement just yet, so the 85 million bid hasn't been accepted by Leipzig, but it's certainly been accepted by Sesko, because I think Sesko was waiting to find out, do United have the ability to put that bid in for me? As soon as it goes in, bip, zip, I choose Newcastle, don't exist, vamos. What else is he saying down here? Anything else? Ruben, no, nothing else there. Right. So, yeah, Florian Plettenberg suggesting that the bid's actually going to be higher than the original 85 that we put in yesterday. Well, we've just found out also that... Hold on here. We quickly go back up to David Ornstein's article, actually. Quote, unquote. A bid of 82.5 mil plus 2.5 was accepted by Leipzig. So, it's not actually more money that Leipzig want. It's more guarantees that they want. Just spotted that there. 85 million euros was enough for them to accept a bid from Newcastle. So 85 million euros will be enough for them to accept from United. But I imagine it will be more up, not necessarily more upfront, but more guaranteed rather than add-ons. Because that's 82.5 mil guaranteed with only 2.5 in add-ons. There you go. That's what United need to do. Sort out the guaranteed money. And then we get a deal done. You got Roy, you're saying, are you loaning Hojlund out as a short-term fix, maybe boost his stats, or trying to clear as much of the money owed to him as possible? Or are you keeping him? I'm going to speak about Hojlund a little bit later in the show. What else are you saying down here? And you're saying signing Cunha was a catalyst. Like, I fully agree with you down there in the idea that football transfer dominoes, right? Man United getting Cunha in, and by the way, getting Cunha in so early that he went on last year's accounts, which we found out about today, and I'm going to run through that. Getting Cunha in made the conversation with Mbeumo easier. Getting Cunha and Mbeumo in made the conversation a lot easier with Sesko. Who do we go for next? Don't know, but it's going to be made a lot easier because we've got Cunha and Mbeumo and Sesko. The new signings are as far as other new signings go, are probably the greatest signs of being excited for the project. Because United, I'm sure, can talk a good talk. Barada selling Project 150, Wilcox selling this, Amorim telling him about what you're going to be and where you're going to be in the squad, etc. I'm sure they sell a good project. But players actually coming in and agreeing to it, that's evidence of it. And it just... Momentum. Look, it really genuinely does feel like I don't even want to call this season step one of the rebuild, because I think it went beyond that last season we absolutely got stripped back to the bare brick. It was ugly. The foundations were rotten. And we knew that, but we finally got to see them and we finally putting in some supports around them. It's like, what's beyond the rebuild? Renovation, it's the same sort of thing. It's just like a complete restructuring, and this is the foundation of it, is this summer. Now, last summer, I know the last summer also is included in it, but after what we saw in the season, with so ugly, man, 400 odd redundancies, bad decisions around ticket prices, conversations around the new stadium and season tickets and etc. There's been so much bad crap that's happened that this summer had to be strong, and it just feels like 3 top-level players are buying into the project, and Sesko is doing it without Champions League football. It's a big thing. It's a massive thing. Let me see what you're saying down here. Loan Donnarumma with an option to buy. I don't really see much legs in the Donnarumma one. Might be wrong. Why are people still talking about Angelo Stiller? I thought he went to Leeds. I thought they got done. But can't remember. This is the most I've seen in the morning show. It's a big up to everyone tuning in. Any videos or news about the new and improved training ground, Francis? Well, I'll tell you something. I tried to get into the event on Friday. Unfortunately, they were oversubscribed. So I was trying to go to Carrington to see it myself. But I can't go, unfortunately. And this is the thing I'm trying to do this season. I think I've already told you this. But what we've built here is incredible, and I love it. But what I want to do is bring more of a real-life presence to it for you. So I want to start going to more press conferences, ideally. I want to start going to a couple of events at United, start going to a couple of games, sitting in the press box, ideally, whilst doing everything. Now, can we just quickly take a moment to say something really important as well? I haven't mentioned this yet, so we've really got to talk about it. How are the lads? Don't worry, lads. You can sign. You got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Jamie Vardy. That'd be a good one for you. Who else have they got? I hear Patrice Evra might come out of retirement. He wouldn't mind playing for you. He might turn you down. Who else could they sign? I don't know. Maybe Eddie Howe, bit of playing manager. Yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah, it'd be a good one. Yeah. Honestly, this really was what that meme is so damn appropriate. It's literally like Newcastle, bit accepted. Nah. Now, there's something which is the question I think all of you have, yeah. Right? How can United do this? Hamper saying you got to feel a little bit for Newcastle fans. I really, really, really don't think I need to have any sort of sympathy for them. I really don't. But how can United afford to do this? Right? Now, I've covered this in a couple of videos earlier this summer, but there's a little bit more information that's just been released. And this is one of the first things, which I didn't realise. And I'm like, you cheeky devils. Matheus Cunha's signing falls into United's 2024-25 season for accounting purposes. Therefore, it's not included in the current financial year. So, you know how we've been talking about, how much have United actually spent this summer? Now, the cash has left 20 million on Cunha, but that's not included in this season's PSR. That's in last season's. Now, that, ladies and gents, that right there is... you see a little bit of the importance of moving early. Moving early in the window always carries importance, but because now the June 30th PSR deadline exists, there's even more of a need to move early. And maybe that's part of why United pushed so quickly with Cunha, knowing full well that they'd be able to put that on last season's PSR. So that's the first thing. So we've actually gained 20 million in headroom on PSR in terms of how much we thought we were going to spend. And in terms of, look, this is a graph from The Athletic. Athletic really do cover the financial stuff. In fact, I'll leave the link to it down in the chat. Right? The Athletic cover it better than anywhere else in terms of actually understanding it. But United are under less PSR pressure than once thought, okay? If you look at last season, now remember that these are actually because of they were using the wrong accounts. Well, everybody was just... I still can't get my head around how that ever happened. Because to have an account that's used for PSR purposes, they have to be registered in the UK. And Manchester United, the top PLC, is registered in the Cayman Islands. So it was never going to get used. Anyway, they figured that one out. But actually, this is the losses that United have made. We made 8.6 mil profit. 8.3 mil profit in 2022. Man, just the numbers have gone... Remember, we were looking at like hundreds of millions of loss. It's now getting significantly reduced. And on top of that, I think this is an interesting part. Now, I'm not going to say this with just total excitement. There's trepidation in what I'm about to say, right? We know that Manchester United paid off 50 million from the RCF, by the way, is revolving credit facilities. It's your credit card. So anytime you see RCF in this next article, that's what it means. It's the credit card. We paid off 50 million of it. So come the end of April, we had 140 mil that we could spend on the credit card. It might actually be more than that, which is something I've just found out. All right. And this it might get a little bit confusing, but I'll promise I'll try and explain it, right? On July the 10th, a charge was registered against various United entities at Companies House, of course, where the company is registered, in favour of Bank America, which typically relates to the revolving credit facilities. And last summer, on the 28th of June, a linked charge was filed because United extended the credit card facility to expire in June 2027. So a charge happened on July the 10th. Now, no one actually knows exactly what that charge was for, but it could be that they're extending the revolving credit facility a little bit further, or, and this is the thing down here, it is possible that United have actually increased their borrowing capacity. So United may well have actually taken out more. So instead of having 140 million, it could well actually have been more. And we don't know that yet. And that's what I mean. Like, you can't put exact confirmation on how much United have got to spend. But, and yeah, as I said, go and read this article if you want to get some more information here. The conclusion here is that United have always had this money. And it's not a surprise to find out that United have it, because we've always had the credit cards. I know United want to avoid spending on the credit card. What it feels like to me, I might be wrong on this one. It feels like United are taking the compromise this summer because of all the crap sales and players they can't get rid of. It feels like United are taking the compromise on using the credit facilities, on taking the interest payments, knowing full well the on-pitch success that will bring, and it will probably be able to be offset by the end of the year by the success that you've had in the games that you've won, and and the position that you're at now will actually pay for those extra interest payments. That's what it feels like to me, right? And genuinely, I don't think that we're going to have the money. I'm famous last words and all that. I don't think United are going to have the money for someone like Carlos Baleba. But I do very much think that United aren't finished this summer. I think we'll have money for a midfield signing. I think we'll have money for a goalkeeper signing, but that very much depends, we already know, on one leaving. Yep, Flo. Yeah, exactly that. It's debt. That's why I'm sitting here looking at it with trepidation. What I would say is that when it comes to Ineos and when it comes to the Glazers, they look at debt differently. Glazers, they use it simply as an enabler to get away with whatever the fuck they could without ever paying one penny in, and they simply use debt as a tool to avoid responsibility. That's what I would say the Glazers' relationship with debt is, and therefore United's. In this sense, it will kind of be kicking the can down the road and speeding the process up. Now, it might not work, by the way, because, the signings might not work. We might not be the season that we want, and that's a risk that's being taken. But it seems like that's what United are doing. It's definitely not sustainable. Oh, 100% this is not sustainable, right? But this is in a summer where we can't bloody sell a single player. There is one Premier League club that has not made one penny from a sale this summer, and it is Manchester United. That's mad. That's mad. Properly mad. It's definitely not a sustainable way to do it, but it feels like that might be the compromise that's being done this summer in a summer where we can't sell anybody. You can call it debt as an investment. I'm not going to sit here and sort of like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to champion debt, am I? Right? I hate it. I hate what it's done to our football club. I'm just explaining what I think it looks like and the details that was from that Athletic article. So if you want to read that, I would encourage you to do so. Whoa. Look at this for a photo, by the way. I think it's 4-3-3. Big up that. 10 out of 10 on that little edit. Do you know who Sesko's idol is? Zlatan. And that's covered in the profile video that will be released, hopefully, after we get the Here We Go. That's always the plan with the profile videos, but we might have been slightly late starting this one. It's my bad on that one. See if we can get it done. Big up to the editor if you can. Go on, John. Go on, John. Let me see what you're saying down here in the chat. Let me read some of your comments. I might miss some super chats. Let me go back. It has been a busy, busy chat here this morning. Magic Mike is saying Sesko's ability to hold up the ball and bring players like Cunha and Mbeumo into play is more important than him being a 30-goal-a-season striker. If he scores 30 goals a season, then I think that's probably the most important thing. But there's a lot that he will bring to the table. And the physicality is a big thing. Like, dude is 6'5", has a mad leap, like NBA-level leaps. That's actually why Salzburg signed him. Because they saw a basketball video. You'll find that out in the profile. And can I ask you one question here, right? Little pop quiz. Which player completed the most crosses in the Premier League last season? Right? That's the question. Fire it in the comments. Hojlund should stay, someone says down there. We'll speak about Hojlund in a little bit next after some confirmation from Fabrizio on what's going on there. Sesko says he wants the number 9. Who's number 9? Is Hojlund number 9? I can't actually remember. Alex, if they only... It does actually feel like United have only spent 17 mil this year. I'm laughing at it because it's really quite funny when you say it like that. But Mbeumo was down in installments, wasn't he? So if the first installment, if it's split into 4, then it actually means the only thing on PSR this year is 17.5 mil. Loads and loads of you have got it down there. It is indeed Mbeumo. Mbeumo completed more crosses in the Premier League than any other player. So you can see the vision. Mbeumo on the right-hand side, cutting in. Sesko, late runs to the back post, glancing on the end of the header, send it in. Be nice to have an aerial threat again. Speculate to accumulate. That's probably a fair way to assess the ambitions this summer. Because it may not work out. It may not. There's no guarantees it works out. Well, I do feel like Mbeumo and Cunha, like for the love of God. If Mbeumo and Cunha end up being... No, they won't. But I would just lose any sort of faith I've got in anything. I really, really would. What are you saying down there? Someone saying it was Porro. Well, 1 second here. Newcastle fans are crying. Newcastle fans are crying. Premier League. Last season, Bryan Mbeumo, 4th most goals scored, 1st in expected assists, 1st in crosses, 3rd in kilometres covered. Man, that guy runs. And that guy sprints. 1st in crosses. There you go. I forgot I did that at the start. That's a good start to that show. Anyway. If Sky Sports are wrong, you can have a go again. Have a go at them, not me. Can't really trust Sky Sports or anything these days. Not even a stat. Jesus. Are you confident of top 6? I tell you, United are putting themselves in a position where, I think I've already said this before, as it stands, United are I didn't mean to pull that photo up, but it made me laugh again. United are very much going for, right, okay, we'll just win every game 4-2, 4-3. That's what it is right now. Of course, we need the midfielder to be able to shore things up. But United aren't going into this season, I don't think, Ineos-wise, with the ambition to have a load of control in football games. That's still something that needs to come. But it feels like this summer, what have we struggled with the last few seasons? Scoring goals. All right, well, we'll sign you, Cunha, Premier League proven. You, Mbeumo, Premier League proven. May well have been Delap if we had signed him. But that might have meant that we didn't get Mbeumo. Anyway, they're taking a punt on Sesko. And this is very much Chris Vavell being empowered to lead on it. That's very much a director of recruitment signing, right? And that's why you employ people, I suppose. As long as you've got all the backup data to support it, it won't just be because Chris Vavell goes, I like Sesko, and that's it. You got any data to prove? Nah, I just like him. He's a nice guy. Wouldn't be the case. All the data would have gone into it. Would have crunched all the numbers and said, well, actually, when you look at it from the physicality perspective and what we need, and Sesko plays in a like, my word, next season, ladies and gents, our ability to press those front three pressing compared to what we had before, that's mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. Now, somebody there with a really important question. Steve, you're saying, is there any news on Hojlund going the other way? And there is news on Hojlund going the other way. Unfortunately, it's not good news. Listen to this from Fabrizio Romano, who's currently singing My Heart Will Go On, apparently. But anyway.
May United and Leipzig discuss the possibility to include Hojlund in the deal for Benjamin Sesko last week, but this is not possible. The player is not keen on the move, so that option collapsed immediately and now.
So, Hojlund's not going to Leipzig. I spoke about this yesterday. United are going to have to... I mean, we're going to have to sell, right? We're going to have to sell. I was hoping that him to Leipzig was the one that made sense. You know, it would have been genuinely would have been. A, would have suited United, but B, would have been a good signing for them. But Fabrizio's saying that the deal for him to go to Leipzig isn't happening because Hojlund doesn't want it to. So, I mean, you call it player power. And maybe this has always been the case. I think maybe we just got more visibility on it now because of how, I suppose, close we are to transfers as fans compared to what it was even a few years ago, really. We always kind of like every single part of the deal is like played out in public on socials. Hojlund doesn't want to leave. And look, Hojlund and Sesko is... That's kind of what we've always felt about Hojlund. The ideal situation for him would be to have someone more experienced above him, but this is going to be someone the exact same age as him. It would definitely take Hojlund out of the spotlight, as you say, and maybe that will be the thing that allows Hojlund to flourish and grow. And I don't think it's impossible that Hojlund this season pleasantly surprises us all. But in my opinion, I felt like it would have been the smarter play for the sustainability of the football club to be able to cash in on Rasmus Hojlund and use that to offset what we're reinvesting. But look, as it stands, Hojlund's going to be staying. I don't see an Italian club giving us the money. They're going to want him on loan. AC Milan are going to come in with a loan offer, and we'd be like, just piss off. Inter didn't do anything, and then they signed, who was it? Was someone called Bobby? I just made that up. Robbie? Nobby? Who'd they sign? Can't remember. They signed some other striker. Similar age, but I wouldn't say arguably Sesko has more experience. He definitely has more experience. But it sounds like he's going to be, well, as it stands, staying and certainly not going to Leipzig, which is sort of caught me off guard. Now, anybody who's just tuning in, welcome aboard. This has been, I think this is probably going to be Bonnie. There you go. How's the name of my old cat? Right. Enough about Bonnie and my cats. David Ornstein's confirmed that United are closing in on the deal and that he has chosen United. And that's pretty much been the decisive factor in all of this. Personal terms are already agreed. Right? The contract's already done. I imagine this was probably already done before the bid went in. And that's why the bid did go in. Because United have already agreed personal terms with him. It's not a case of, would he choose United? Well, you've already agreed a bloody contract with him. And this is what I mean about how transfers these days. And you can't really ever understand about what tapping up. Because I think Forest were pissed off with Spurs about Morgan Gibbs-White because there was a release clause that probably was under an NDA. I'm guessing. But like, what's the point in a release clause if it's under NDA? Then it may as well not exist. Or someone finds out about it and you pay it and then you sue them. Oh, great. Well, that's worked out swimmingly for him. But it feels like we had personal terms agreed before the bid went in, and that's why the bid went in. Because we knew, and that's what I covered in yesterday's video, saying United aren't going to put a bid in unless we know that he's going to choose United. And he has. He has chosen Man United. He's ignored Champions League football. He's pushed Newcastle back to the side and patted them on the head and said, oh, no, go on. Next year. What I was saying down here. Shabogan. You're saying Hojlund is well within his rights to stay. If he's motivated to fight for his place, more power to him. May the best man win. Good for the club. I don't disagree with that. And if you're looking at strength in depth, you're then looking at Cunha and Mbeumo, Mount and Bruno as your 4 choices for those 2 number 10 positions. You're looking at Sesko with Hojlund. I think you're definitely going to be looking at Cheeto on loan, by the way. I think from his own, if there's going to be one person at United upset at Sesko, probably would be Cheeto. I mean, there's probably a couple more people that, I don't know, most people are going to be happy. But it kind of blocks Cheeto's pathway at United a little bit if Hojlund stays as well. So we'll see. There's no way that Hojlund and Cheeto stay. Okay? And you're talking about Hojlund from Sporting. I'm not really seeing much about him. But if I was to predict the rest of this window, I think United are going to sign a central midfielder. I think United are going to sign a goalkeeper. The level of which I don't actually know. Oh, yeah, Paul. Bloody hell, I forgot about Xerxes. Jeez. Man, we've got some genuine quality and depth at a time when we're only playing 1 game a week. But I do think, I don't think United are finished after this. I really, really don't. I think we will get a midfielder. Hey, look, I predicted many things this window and they've not happened. And I mean that actually in a good way when it comes to the signings. I think the ambition of the club was bigger than my ambitions as a fan. And actually the ability to pull it off has been phenomenal, really. 3 players we put bids in for this summer, ladies and gents. 3 players we're signing. We haven't had a failed bid in terms of going after a player, choosing a player. You could say that that's a lie, Liam Delap. So I suppose that was a player that we put a bid in for that we didn't get. So I would take that back. He chose Champions League football. I compared the Delap situation to the Sesko situation. You could argue it's very similar, really. More than one club coming in for the player. Both in the Premier League. One offering Champions League, one not offering Champions League. Delap made his choice. And I hope it blows up in his face. And Sesko's made his choice. And has turned his back on Champions League football for the project of Manchester United. I honestly think it's going to be a decision that Delap regrets. But, watching from the sidelines now, bro. Watching from the sidelines. Very few are turning the mighty United down. And, hey, look, I'm definitely going to do a little mini-doc on this. Because it's the perfect way to end this video, really. I agree with you, Michael, down there. It's not just about the United pull. It's kind of everything. The United pull. The allure of being those players that take United back to the top. I'm telling you, it is a career-defining legacy. They will feast on that. They'll be the new Gary Pallisters being an ambassador at the football club and still being invited to do things when you're 50, 60 years old. If you can be part of that team that helps United back to the top, you won't ever get forgotten by Manchester United. You will be an ambassador for the football club for the rest of your career. Even like, football is a short career, right? At the top level, realistically, as soon as you hit 30, everyone goes, On the way down now. You still got 30-odd years working there, man. Be part of the team that can bring that back to Manchester United, and they will make sure that you eat for the rest of your life. But the pull is just not Manchester United. The pull is Amorim, working with Amorim. The pull is the project. Everything actually coming together. And yeah, there's a lot that still needs to happen. I know that. But boy, oh boy, that was one of the most fun shows I think we will ever have in the morning. I think last summer, probably the most fun we had was when we had the Euro bomb mid-show. Hey, look, we still could get it. We might be here tomorrow, and then boom, the Ornstein bomber comes in mid-show. Popping bottles of Prosecco. Don't quite know. Probably wouldn't do that at 10 in the morning. Let's be honest. Anthony saying, also, we've been so bad that the pressure will be a little bit less now. Let's be totally honest. That's not really the case. The pressure will be the exact same at Manchester United. It doesn't matter whether we finished 15th last season or whether we're defending a title. The scrutiny will always be to the nth degree. And the expectations are that last season gets buried by what we see this season. But actually, yeah, can we just take a little second here and just all collectively put our heads down, turn the lights off, and just think about Newcastle fans for a second, all right? It's important to... who am I kidding? Well, that's the most fun I've had in a long time. My DMs are going to get slammed by Newcastle fans after this. It's going to be fun. MX saying, really looking forward to seeing Arsenal Newcastle fans saying Sesko isn't all that. Hey, look, let's go. But yeah. R.I.P. to Newcastle. See ya.